All right, let's switch
So,
shit up. Start us
I'll
off,
start. All
Chris.
right. So we saw the movie Sinners. Um, I probably to start off. I'll probably give it like a 7 or 8. I really enjoyed that one. There's definitely some fat it could trim, and like the secret ending. I don't know how much I liked, but I like the build up from the beginning. I love that. Like it was a beautiful set piece. Um, I think it kind of like once it started getting into like the horror aspect, I think it kind of fell off a little bit from it. But even then, it was still fun. Like, and I think one of the best parts of it being like a horror movie, like the people acted smart. Like there wasn't any like, why the fuck would you do that kind of moments, which I
Hmm.
feel like a lot of horror movies have.
Yeah.
The music was like absolutely amazing with the music. Acting was incredible. Um, I mean, I could see where people don't like it, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But
Hmm.
that's all I got for now. What you got?
Okay. Yeah, I would say I don't know. Like this movie has an 84 on Metacritic and a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes. So I think my expectations were like, okay, I gotta be blown away. Like I think of like some of my other like favorite like non-horror films, like Wolf of Wall Street, and I can just think of like so many like iconic scenes from that film and just like dialogue moments that just like wowed me. And this film, I think it was pretty well written, and there's a couple standouts. Like the old dude was like a fantastic actor,
Oh yeah, yeah.
um, and I think the main villain, like the main vampire guy, was pretty good too. And no one was bad by any means. But I just didn't have moments like that in it. Like there's a couple like moments, but like nothing like where I was like, holy fuck, that just happened. And most of the time they did make good decisions. Like they see someone's a vampire, pop, pop, pop,
Yeah,
pop,
yeah, yeah.
right off the bat, and
Immediately.
that was satisfying. But then they're like, you already know these guys are vampires outside, and they leave the door open. They're having a fucking casual conversation with them. It's like, what the fuck do you need to hear from a vampire at this point? Like, they have nothing to offer you. Like, just shut the fucking door and prep more weapons in case they attack. So that was kind of dumb, in my eyes. It just kind of like went through the ropes. It's like one by one they started getting bit, and um, I don't know. It just didn't do. It was really just a generic vampire film with like the twist of inclusion of like slavery. Well, not slavery, but
The
a
Jim
time
Crow
right after.
eras.
Yeah, during the early 1900s, where yeah, there was a huge tension between uh, blacks and whites in
Mm.
America.
Yeah,
So I mean that was cool. And I see they're trying to tie it into the vampire stuff too. They're like, you can be free, like
yeah,
be
yeah.
join us. But like I also agree with Chris on the ending. I didn't get that. It's like, and at the end, it implies that the vampires are reasonable. They can be bargained with. They can be like, you can have a conversation. You can be like, hey, you do this, I do this, we're good. Why do they have to have a fucking bloodbath then? It's like, I don't know. It just didn't wow me like that. Like to me, it was a pretty. If I had to compare it to something, I would compare it to like like Avatar. Like it's a really well done blockbuster. Um, but it just didn't have like that really good like top tier writing or like iconic scenes that a movie that I believe of that rating should have
Okay,
to
okay.
warrant that
Yeah.
in my eyes. So I would give it like a 5 or 6 out of 10. I think like I don't think it was a bad film by any means, but I mean it still was like it's just prone to like a lot of new blockbuster movie cliches.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have like the final boss vampire
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
end. You have fucking CGI snakes. You have like I don't know. It was just shit like that.
yeah.
That I was kind of like, eh.
Yeah, I definitely think that's part of it because I feel like I judge generic horror movies harder.
Mm-hmm.
But cause I don't typically like the generic horror movies, but this was by far my favorite of just that genre of horror
Mm-hmm.
movies, and I think that's probably why I rate it so high.
Yeah.
It was just I think it was just my type of flavor of movie. I just really
Mhm.
liked it.
Yeah. No, I think it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I'm just like I just don't like normal movies, I guess, anymore that much.
Yeah.
Like, the one I think it's kind of like this is kind of like an Alien Romulus, you know, like we both were agreed that Alien Romulus is like was a well made movie, but it just wasn't creative or stand outish enough to really differentiate itself and be like a fantastic movie, you know, like or like it's okay. But for me, it was like a guilty pleasure of mine because like the visuals, just being in space, all that shit was so well done. I was like, I gotta give it a decent score.
Yeah. I think
So
I was the opposite for that, but I
yeah,
am for this one where I'm
yeah.
just
I mean,
like,
the music was phenomenal.
my
I will say
gosh.
that
Okay,
everyone was vibing.
the standout scene though, when they were when the kid was first playing and they transitioned into the different eras of African American music.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
That was
man,
pretty cool.
that hit. I love that.
That was pretty cool. They had like the DJ.
Yeah, they like
Yeah.
transitioned to DJ and then went back to like African like tribe music and they would go back to like 2000s. Oh god, I love that. And Michael B. Jordan, I was like doubtful. Like I really thought he was just gonna be a face for this, but he killed it. Playing two different roles like that, he absolutely killed it.
Yeah, no, he did do good. Yeah.
So I gave it an 8. He gave it a 5. What's that? Like
I was in between a 5 and a 6.
all right,
So we'll go 7.
all
We'll
right,
go 7. Man.
solid 7.
We'll give it a 7.
I would,
right.
if anything, I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah, despite the fucking mid trailer.
The trailer, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the funny thing because we were like, "There's no way this is gonna be a good movie," and then we're like, "Oh shit! All right, it's not bad."
Yeah,
not
proved
bad.
us wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Heck yeah.
All right, till next time.
Peace.